where we can see the future today. Epcot Center represents a journey we all make every day, the journey to tomorrow. Part of our journey is determined by the choices we'll make in our career. We'll be seeing how making the right choices can make a big difference in your life. Most people are excited about their journey to the future and prepare for it. However, there are exceptions. Donald. 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 Come on, Donald, wake up. It's time to think about your journey to tomorrow.
What journey?
Your journey to tomorrow.
I want to sleep.
How much do you know about building a career, Donald?
Career?
Don't you think it's time you found out? Why don't you come along with us, and we'll show you.
Okay.
Donald. Donald.
I'm ready.
Are you? This is where you find out about the working world, Donald.
What?
That's right, Donald. Choosing a job is an important part of building your career.
Boy. How many jobs are there?
How many jobs are there? Quite a few. Rather than picking a particular job right away, you can narrow down the choice by thinking about the kinds of skills and interests you have.
Skills?
Skills are organized into groups called job families. Each job family contains jobs related to the same kind of skills. Here, I'll show you what I mean. This job family is for people whose jobs require investigative skills. Not just detectives, Donald. The investigative skills job family includes scientific and some technical occupations. It attracts people who like to observe, learn, investigate, analyze, or solve problems, like this astronomer.
My work is in the investigative skills job family because I like to investigate what's out there, to observe the other planets and the stars and galaxies, and to figure out how the parts of this wonderful puzzle fit together. We use this telescope, which gathers light from distant objects, so that we can then study that light and figure out what those objects are, what they're doing, how far away they are, how bright they are. And that's a great challenge to try to unravel the mysteries of this vast universe of ours.
That desire to investigate the world around us takes a lot of forms. Some of the other people in this job family are economists, physicians, chemists, geologists, oceanographers, and animal scientists like Peter Michelson, who works at the Friends of Sea Lions in Laguna Beach, California.
What we do here is take care of sick and injured marine mammals, such as sea lions and seals. We take them off the beach to take care of them, nursing them back to health so they can return back into their natural environment. We examine the animals and then determine the best way to treat them.
So you see, Donald, in a way, you were right. Those people in the investigative skills job family are sort of detectives. But they investigate animals, the stars, and all sorts of other things. No, Donald, not like the Spaceship Enterprise. The people in the enterprising skills job family are usually managers and leaders. They enjoy managing, persuading, or influencing other people. But it doesn't always happen at an office.
Being a film director is usually considered an artistic job, and it is. But there's a lot of leadership required, too. There are many people involved, and each one has a special job. It's my job to make sure everyone understands the end result I'm looking for.
There's a lot of influencing and managing going on in other forms of business as well. Some examples are bankers, lawyers, contractors, personnel recruiters, systems analysts, and party planners. Meet Heather Hagen, who runs her own party planning business.
I'm hired by children's parents to put on their birthday parties. I have about 3 or 4 helpers my own age, helping to plan the games and the food and set up the party.
You see, Donald, you can be a leader and people manager in all sorts of ways. Social skills doesn't mean partying, Donald. People in this job family like to work with people, to inform, enlighten, help, train, develop, or cure them. Stacia Sharp is a good example. She works privately as a physical therapist.
As a physical therapist, I work with handicapped children to develop their muscles and make them feel better and stronger. It requires patience, physical strength, and a lot of love.
As you can imagine, there are many different jobs that involve helping people. Some of them are counselors, business agents, college professors, ministers, librarians, and yes, don't forget, math teachers.
Take the sign of the reference. Teaching math requires a lot of patience, encouragement on my part, and good communication skills. Well, basically, I'm helping people make their own discoveries.
No, Donald, it's not people who go to conventions. The people in this job family are usually good with numbers and details and enjoy following through on instructions. Take Michael Finocchi, for example.
Working in a grocery store requires a lot of hustle and flexibility. At any time, you can be called on to do a variety of tasks. So you have to be quick and efficient.
Working with details and following through on instructions involves a lot of important jobs. Some of the others are secretaries, mail clerks, cashiers, financial experts, and videotape editors.
Editing on videotape has become almost completely computerized. As a good editor, I have to know the language of the computer, the various time codes and number formulas, so that I can create what the producer or director wants to see. Sometimes it can get pretty complex.
This title has you stumped, huh? The people in this job family have athletic or mechanical ability. Often they work with machines, tools, objects, plants, or animals, and a lot of them like to work outdoors. At one time, this whole mountainside was filled with lush, tall timber. These foresters are making sure this land becomes productive and beautiful again. It'll take thousands of these seedlings and several decades to get this forest back to where it was. But to these people, it's definitely worthwhile. Like these foresters, most people in the realistic skills job family like to work with their hands. Some other examples are auto technicians, carpenters, tailors, machinists, and a new type of job, hologram specialists.
Working with holograms requires a good optical and mathematical background. It's exciting to me because it's a new technology that is having more and more applications and will have increasing applications in the future.
It's not just artists, Donald. Let's look. People in this job family are usually creative. They like to come up with new things and to use their intuition and imagination. Take Steve DeWitt and Scott Bailey, for instance. They design educational computer software.
What we do here at EdgeWork is design educational software for teachers and parents who know very little about computers. Simply by using a new light pen, they can create any kind of lesson they want. The pen also enables even the very young to use a computer without any supervision.
In addition to finding new ways to use a computer, other people involved in creative jobs are photographers, fashion models, writers, art teachers, actors, and radio and TV personalities. Now, our Pop Spotlight Song of the Week. Hey, he looks familiar.
What's the big idea?
Well, Donald, having your own show seen by thousands of people all over the country requires intuition and imagination. You've got to know what the people want to hear and see, communicate it effectively, and in an entertaining way. See, Donald, job families are one way of grouping skills together. Most of us have skills that belong to more than just one family.
But how do you know which skills you have?
How do you know which skills you have? Well, what you like to do in school is a good indicator. Here, let's take a look.
I love working with computers. I've always enjoyed using logic and figuring out how and why things work. Now I'm starting to write some simple programs myself.
At school, Terry's getting a chance to use a computer, and she's exploring and developing her abilities. It could lead her to jobs in maintaining computer equipment, or she might become a programmer, or she might end up designing new computers.
I've always liked English class. You learn how to say and write what you really mean.
The communication skills that Scott is learning at school might lead him to various jobs in public relations. Or maybe he'll become a reporter or a technical writer.
Drafting class is my favorite. The part I like best is when we get to try designing things. That lets me use my own ideas.
Janet's drafting class is giving her a chance to express her ideas about how things should be designed. And if she pursues that skill, she might wind up being an architect, an industrial designer, or a design engineer.
Boy, oh boy, I'm going to get a job. How do you do it?
Well, before rushing into a particular job, why not try a little job research?
Research?
This is fun research, Donald. You can learn a lot about jobs just by asking people questions.
What do I ask them?
Let's try these 3 questions.
What do you like most about your job?
Seeing our creations come to life.
I really like being able to experiment with different types of growing methods.
Knowing that I'm really helping someone.
Sometimes making the difference between life and death.
Working with new technology.
What do you like least about your job?
When the characters aren't mechanically designed to do what I want them to do.
A lot of people don't respect the importance of our work.
Grading papers.
Doing everything humanly possible, and it's not enough.
All of the math involved.
How did you get into the kind of work you do?
I was always mechanically inclined. Working with audio animatronic figures has really given me a chance to test my ability.
I enjoyed working outdoors and helping with the balance between man and nature.
I always knew that I wanted to be a teacher.
It all started when I was a volunteer at a local hospital. I enjoyed working with even the most difficult patients.
It all started when I was a laser technician at the planetarium near my home.
Wow! Finding a job looks easy.
Sometimes, but very often it takes persistence to get the job you want.
Persistence? What's that?
Here, let's take a look. Excuse me, are you looking for work here? How do you go about it?
Well, I'm kind of new at this myself.
Can the search for employment be a source of enjoyment?
You gotta know how, you gotta know how, you gotta know how.
Of course it isn't easy, of course it isn't breezy.
But don't give up,
raw ambition, they'll give you competition.
But don't give up, don't give up.
You'll talk to the employer, they'll help you, not destroy you.
Knock on doors, knock on doors, knock on doors. You gotta know how.
I'll try again.
Persevere.
No.
Need appearance.
No.
Competition.
Yes.
You gotta know how.
Now, I'll get it, son. I keep it for life.
You know, most people don't keep the same job for life.
Don't?
No. The average person's going to have 10 different jobs. So those workers we just saw won't have the same jobs all their lives.
Well, I'll be doggone.
That's right, Donald. They'll have lots of jobs in their lifetimes. So you see, Donald, we'll all have lots of jobs. And there's a list of all the jobs there are.
Oh, darling. On-board cleaner, accordion and piano, acrobat.
Of course, that list will be out of date very soon.
Out of date?
Yes, because there are new jobs springing up all the time. Everything from robot technicians to computer repair persons to telecommunications scientists.
What?
Telecommunications scientists. They're responsible for communicating with a growing number of manned and unmanned spacecraft.
Gee whiz, that's terrific.
Yes, because even though you may change jobs, and the jobs themselves may change, if you have the skills and the desire to keep learning, you'll also keep working. And now you can go home and start planning the first step of your career.
Oh, boy, a space station. No, I think I'll work with those butterflies. Or I can be a fighter. Or I could be or a TV scientist.
Bye, Donald. The rest is up to you. Because when we have the knowledge, we can go after what we want. We can build a career that'll make a difference to us and to the world. And then we'll have a map that points us in the right direction on our journey to tomorrow.